Hello, this is Moos Jacobs for the DeBarra Spoken Word, and I'm here with Elizabeth Ewing. She will be our next special guest. All our guests are special, but she will be our next special guest on the 19th of November 2025 at the Barras Folk Club in Clonakilty, West Cork, Ireland, the world. So, hello, Elizabeth, how are you?
Hi, Mosa. I'm really good. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
excited about this opportunity.
Yeah, I did spring it on you. I'm sorry, but that was just circumstances, and you.
You did spring it on me.
And it was actually it was because you were you just had done a poem called Samhain, and we were playing with you, and I just really it was because of the poem, and I thought, oh, that's really interesting sort of subject matter. You brought in the magic of Samhain at that moment to me at least. And I thought that's interesting. Why don't I ask her? Because I've seen you do different things with sound over the years, sound workshops. You've been singing in Irish, I remember, a couple of years ago. And so I thought, okay, it's a nice combination, sound and poetry. And I do also remember that I've seen some of your poems online, so I knew you were writing poetry, even though your focus has not maybe been on that solely. You would you say that you're more focused on sound, and that sound include music, and if not, what's the difference?
Well, Mosa, it's all a journey really because I think when I retired from my main job, and I suddenly had this wonderful time in my hands. I decided that I was going to use the time for creativity because creativity makes me feel alive. And as I get older, I'm 70 now, I just want to enjoy that feeling of being alive. And so I find poetry is really lovely for that because it helps me dive deeper into myself and have more self-understanding. And yet expressing with the voice is also this wonderful freedom that is so gives you so much energy as well. So I love both, and being a Gemini, I probably go a bit here and a bit there.
Okay. And because I know that you these days you do a lot together with Claire Marie Barton, who we've also had as a guest a year ago, something like that. And she did sound as part of the
Uh-huh.
session. And would you be doing sound as well as part of the session?
It's possible. I haven't actually kind of tied down what I'm going to do because it was such a surprise to be invited. And then it was such an opportunity for me to think about what poetry means to me and what sound means to me. So I'm very grateful that you've actually asked me, even though it's a bit scary.
Well, it wasn't traumatic. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I said, I've been going through in my mind and thinking about my journey with poetry and sound, and from a young person, and I even found a poem that my father wrote, and realized how beautiful it was to have that one poem that he wrote about his experiences in Normandy, and that reading that poem gives such a greater understanding of him as a young man, a 24-year-old man, and that it was a gift for me to have that poem. And I'm thinking I want to go through my poetry and really choose the ones that I feel come from a deeper place in me that maybe other people can relate to. And growing up as a woman, like when I went to school, I still have my old poetry book from the exams, and all the poets were male in
Wow.
that book.
Yes.
I didn't realize it at the time.
I
I
mean,
just thought
even
that's what we're
then,
studying.
there are plenty of female poets, I think.
There were, but I have the book still. I didn't keep any other books, but I kept my poetry book and my cookery book, and all the poets in that book were male.
Wow.
So so some of my poems are the journey of being a woman and a young woman, and that's been really interesting for me to allow myself to write those poems. But I
It-
might bring in some sound as well. I feel I'm going to I've got a few weeks to sort of explore
yeah.
and formulate it. And is it what, about 20 minutes or
Well, there is
half an hour?
nobody will be looking at their watch. I usually say about 20 minutes. It doesn't really matter if
Yeah.
you go over time because, but in general, in a way, you have an hour if you want to fill it, and depending on how you fill it, because Uh, we say we start at 8:30, but that's when people really start to sort of come. Around,
Yeah, yeah,
we tend to start around 9. And then at 10 o'clock we have a break. And after that we have an open mic.
yeah,
So that's that. And so and sometimes, I've also done, but I don't do that so often these days, but we could do that. Could do like an interview and a Q&A, depending on, what you want. Or you could fill it with sound. Or
yeah.
even if you want musicians to play with you, that's also possible.
Well, it was lovely, wasn't it? Last time with the band.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, and it felt a real privilege. And I so enjoyed listening to the other poets. It was just there was such a broad range of, poetry, and it's such a window into people's souls when you listen to their poetry. It's
Yeah,
just
that's true.
fantastic. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a surprise.
By the sound of it, you have been writing poetry since you were young. Is that correct?
Yeah, I wrote as a teenager. Very much I wrote about kind of social injustice and very kind of, sort of I knew how to fix the world kind of poetry. And interestingly, I met a friend. I hadn't seen her for 50 years in Malaga this year, and we talked about our love of poetry then. I became a mother at 19, and I was very
Wow.
busy. I was very busy, and things shifted for me at that time. So I didn't do a lot of writing then. And any writing I did between that stage and probably about 50, I would just throw away. I didn't keep them.
Really?
Yeah.
Shame in a
Uh,
way, because you
and
could look at it
then,
yourself.
yeah,
It's like
then I,
photos, isn't it?
sorry.
It's a bit like photos.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have some from my teenage years, and they were put in the school magazine, but I always put a
Oh,
non. I always never put my name on them. And then I wrote songs that were published as a 14-year-old. So I had that in me then. And then the creativity went into my children, I think, really, mostly. Um, but then when my long-term relationship ended, then I kind of started to, okay, it's my time again, and got very involved in naked voice work.
what is naked voice work?
This is Chloe Goodchild teaches naked voice, and it's about finding your authentic voice. So, as a singer or a poet or as a human being, it's actually the ability to tap in through the conditioning and actually find that sound or that awareness of who you are. So, it's
And
very
is that a
powerful.
kind of, do you teach that? Do you do
I
one?
can help people with that. I can do that, yeah, one to one. I used to do groups as well, but I've been working with someone recently, and it's been fantastic seeing her emerge. And she's like, "Wow, yeah." So that's really really wonderful. And then there was a time when I was in a band with two fantastic women who live in West Cork, Kaz and Jane. We had a
Oh,
band
Jane,
together. Jane, Kaz
Jane,
Jeffries and Jane Goss
yeah,
were
yeah.
both amazing musicians. We were in a it was such a special time. We made a CD, we played in Dublin, and we all wrote all the songs, and we supported each other to do that and did harmonies. So that was a very creative time as well. Fantastic.
So how can I ask, how did you end up in West Cork? Because I did you grow up in England? Is that
I did. I grew up in England with an English mother and an Irish father.
ah
And I grew up with stories of Ireland. And then I'm one of six. My dad was one of nine. I'm one of six. And one of my brothers moved to Ireland, moved back.
okay.
Like, my dad didn't in the end move back because of my mom. But my brother Michael moved back, and I came and spent a month on holiday with him, and then knew that I would actually move up back here as well, move here. And but he lived in Roscommon, and I just fell in love with West Cork. So
Okay. And
yeah,
is Roscommon where your father's family
no
was?
Donegal,
Donegal. Oh,
Donegal.
wow.
But
Where?
he left in 1939, and out of poverty really, and then his mother died when he was 17, so he was the youngest of nine. So after my granddad died, and he died the year I was born, the farm was sold, and that everybody dispersed really.
Yeah.
So that I didn't have a strong connection. I have emotional connection to Donegal, but not a lot of relations. So,
No.
whereas Westcourt was a bit like Cornwall in England, that kind of southwest and the sea and yeah, creativity. Just I felt drawn here anyway, and so that's where I came, and that was 44 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Okay, wow. And did you do, I mean, because you tell me about, Cass and Jane, and they're music people, not so much sound people. Did you
Mm.
do a lot of music in the more traditional sense of the word before you found sound?
I always loved singing. Like in my family, we always sing. My brother Michael was a fantastic singer. Unaccompanied singing more. My mother played the piano, but when we were children, we didn't have a piano. She couldn't afford a piano, and there wasn't enough room in the house for a piano even. But music was always really important. My English granddad, played in a jazz band, and he played
Okay,
loads of different instruments. And
okay.
that tune in the mood, da 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 da. That was kind of one of their theme tunes. So music helped us through the struggle really, and singing and everything was always part of life. So I'm thinking, I can't remember, but I think I've always been in choirs as well. Maybe that was before I met Kaz. I can't really remember how Kaz and Jane and I got together. Oh, I went to yes, yes, sorry, the brain is. I went to College Stefan Nefer and did
Okay.
2 years of sound and singing. Yeah, what was it called? Music, sound, and technology or something. But the
Oh,
technology,
really? So
yes. But
wow.
yeah, I did. I went there and did songwriting, and that was at the time that I'd gone through the relationship end,
So that
and
you were a mature student.
I went as a mature student, which
Yeah,
in itself is a challenge, huge challenge.
because a lot of them are really young, aren't they?
Yeah, and even though I was only 37, I was like their mother, but I had to stop that. But we created. Actually, I had a really nice band in Cork then called. Um, oh God, I can remember. I had a band, a women's band, and we wrote all our own tunes and songs then as well. Cinnamon Bark is what we were called.
Okay.
It's all so long ago.
Well, doesn't matter. Time doesn't exist,
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
So I've been very lucky to meet people who have, worked with me and used their skills and creativity to be together and do things. It's been really good. So I
And
think
get
poetry now is kind of like I'm really enjoying it because it's very spontaneous for me. Like I often just with Beth Kempton, we're given one word and 10 minutes.
okay.
That's it.
You told me before we started about a writing group, and you
Yeah,
named Beth, but can you say a little bit more also where people can find any?
yeah.
Yeah.
Her name is Beth Kempton.
Okay.
And if you just Google that, you'll see immediately she's written 4 or 5 books about creativity and writing.
Okay.
But she does free kind of online annual kind of tiny poem kind of she'll just put out a word and this could be you could do it you can join her and pay for a monthly subscription, which I do, which is only really something like €7, and you
Okay.
get a lot for that. Or you can go on Facebook and every season there'll be something like a tiny autumn poem, and there's a particular poet there. I'm going to push her name because she is amazing. She writes under the word murmurations, and actual name is Bridie Toft, and I love her poems. And she's just doing it for fun.
Because the what Beth does is sort of put a challenge to people, or give a theme, or it's
Yeah, she doesn't teach. She supports and then drops little kind of words out, and then you write about that, and then you can share with other people and
okay.
support each other to be creative, really. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll look for the links, or maybe we can look for the links,
Yeah.
and then we put it underneath the YouTube video that this is going to,
Uh-huh.
and then people can see if they want to do something with that, because it sounds like a really nice thing. Especially, I mean, online has its drawbacks, but it's something you can access from where.
Yeah. I'm just
It's,
thinking now, is it called
it's
Do What You Love for Life? I think I have a pile. I have piles of books everywhere, of course, and right now I don't have it next.
okay, but we can do
So
that later.
yeah,
We can do
okay.
it afterwards. And are you, because what you do with Claire at the moment, as far as I can see, is very specifically kind of meditation-like or chanting, or how would you describe what you're doing? Sound bath?
Well, we got together actually because of our. Well, I think I probably initiated my feelings about Gaza and what was happening, and there was a fantastic art exhibition in Bantry with artists from Gaza, Palestinian artists, and my response to that was really strong. So I think I composed something and found a song in Palestinian, and we did some poetry, and we put together a little piece and performed there. And that was the first time we had actually worked together in that way. And then since then, we because people are so distressed here, let alone in Gaza, but distressed at what's happening in the world, you know, what the images they're seeing. We set up a monthly meeting called Singing Sanctuary, where we very much induce the experience of peacefulness through
Okay.
poetry, chant, but poetry definitely is in there, chant and meditation. And it's called Singing Sanctuary in
Okay,
Climate.
singing sanctuary. Okay,
Yeah,
great. I'll also put that in the chat. Well,
yeah.
I could talk for hours, but that people won't have the patience to watch or listen for hours.
Yeah, and
It's
I'm
fine.
a bit, I find it difficult to stop once I get going. So
No,
thanks
that's
for,
fine. That's amazing. You're an amazing talker, and you're a great uh, poet and singer as well,
oh, thank you.
and inspirational. Okay, thank you very much, and see you on the 19th of
Yeah,
November at the DeBarra's spoken word.
yeah.